week 23 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few hitters that shouldn't be part of your roster down the home stretch here in the fantasy season. The first guy is Romeo Tapia of the Colorado Rockies. So Tapia, he's been hot and cold this season, but now he's in a bad slump and cold streak the last few weeks. On the season for Tapia, 5 home runs, 46 RBIs, 20 stolen bases, 65 runs scored, a 276 average, and a 330 on base. But the last couple weeks here for Tapia, 3 runs scored, no homers, an RBI, a stolen base, a 154 average, and a 244 on base. So right here, he's not getting the job done as Tapia right now. He's been in and out of this lineup as well for Colorado. And fantasy owners are getting tired of him as well, dropping him in 3% of fantasy leagues this week. So the last few games here for Tapia: September 6th versus the Giants, 1 for 5 with a run. September 7th versus the Giants, 0 for 4. September 8th versus the Giants, 1 for 3 with a run. September 9th at Philly, 0 for 1. September 11th at Philly, 1 for 2. And September 12th at Philly, 0 for 3. So right there, those numbers aren't going to be productive. And they're definitely not going to get the job done. I know he could steal some bases and a decent run scorer, but right now he's not doing much, and he's an easy drop this week. The next hit is Kyle Farmer of the Cincinnati Reds. So Farmer, he's been on this list a few times over the last couple weeks now as Farmer, and now on the paternity list, but he just got activated yesterday. But on the season for Farmer, pretty decent numbers: 13 homers, 53 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 51 runs scored, a 254 average, and a 308 on base. So right there, pretty decent numbers. But the last couple weeks before he went on the paternity list, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, 5 runs scored, a 242 average, and a 278 on base. So right there, I know he qualifies as a catcher, is Farmer, first, second, third, and shortstop, which is great versatility. But right now, we'll see if he could get the rust off coming off the paternity list and see what he could do. But right now, if you're in a pinch and you don't want to wait to see what he does, you drop him, obviously, with only a few weeks left in the season. So the last few games here before he went on the paternity list: September 3rd versus Detroit, 1 for 3 with a run and an RBI. September 4th versus Detroit, 1 for 4 with a run. September 5th versus Detroit, 0 for 4. September 6th at the Cubs, 0 for 4. September 7th at the Cubs, 1 for 4 with an RBI. And September 8th at the Cubs, 1 for 4. So right now, he definitely might be rusty here, is Farmer. And we'll see if he even plays every day going forward for this red team. But right now, I think it's an easy guy to drop this week. The next hit I would look to drop is Patrick Wisdom of the Chicago Cubs. So Patrick Wisdom, it's been a up and down rookie season for him this year, and he's a great versatile player for fantasy. First, third, and outfield he qualifies. On the season, 25 homers, 50 RBIs, 49 runs scored, 3 stolen bases, a 236 average, and a 302 on base. But the last couple weeks here, he's virtually done nothing. 5 for 42 in this time, with only 3 runs scored, 19 strikeouts, a 119 average, and a 196 on base. So right now, he's in a crazy slump. I know he's getting an everyday opportunity and chance for this Cub team, but right now he's not producing, and it's crunch time, like I mentioned in the fantasy baseball season. So he's got producing, and right now he's an easy drop, in my opinion, until he gets hot again. So the last few games here for Wisdom: September 5th versus the Pirates, 0 for 3 with a run. September 6th versus Cincinnati, 0 for 4. September 7th versus the Reds, 1 for 4. September 8th versus the Reds, 1 for 4 with a run. September 10th versus the Giants, 0 for 3. September 11th versus the Giants, 0 for 4. And September 12th versus the Giants in a pinch hit at bat, 1 for 1. So right here, he's not producing. He's not even showing power to at least go with the low average. And right now, he's a player I would drop this week. And next hit is Ahmed Rojas of the Cleveland Indians. So Rosario, it's been a pretty good first season for him with Cleveland. On the season, 10 home runs, 50 RBIs, 12 stolen bases, 69 runs scored, a 281 average, and a 319 on base. So right here, he's out hit Francisco Lindor in the batting average category. Obviously, in the trade that happened this offseason, with Rosario being one of the pieces going to Cleveland. But the last couple weeks here for Rosario: 2 homers, 6 RBIs, 4 runs scored, 265 average, and a 265 on base. And in the last week, he's only hitting 143 as well. So right now, he's in a big slump. And right now, he's another guy who, throughout his career, we know he gets in these big slumps a lot, because he's an early pitch swinger where he's not going to work the counts, and he's going to get some lazy contact at times. Here's Rosario. So the last few games for him: September 6th versus the Twins, 1-for-4. September 7th versus the Twins, 1-for-1. September 8th versus the Twins, 1-for-3. September 9th versus the Twins, 0-for-5. September 10th versus the Brewers, 0-for-4. And September 12th versus the Brewers, 0-for-4. So right now, he's in a bad slump here, is Rosario, with only 2 hits in his last 4 games here. So he's not getting the job done. He's not making good contact. And he's an easy out right now. And he's an easy guy to drop as well this week, who's also been dropped in 3% of fantasy leagues. And the 5th and final hitter I would look to drop this week's Jake Cronsworth of the San Diego Padres. So Cronsworth, it's unfortunate. His season's most likely done, at least this fantasy season. He went down with a fractured finger. Ring finger here is Jake Cronsworth. And he was a good fantasy player, qualifying at first, second, and short this season. 20 home runs, 63 RBIs, 89 runs scored, 4 stolen bases, a .270 average, and a .348 on base in the last couple weeks before he broke the finger. 1 homer, 2 RBIs, 5 runs scored, a .265 average, and a .342 on base. At Cronsworth, he's been out since September 10th, since he broke the finger at the Los Angeles Dodgers. And right now, even if he's out a week or 2 here, it's going to take him time to get back. And the fantasy season for most owners is over next week, in week 24, if you even make it to the championship. So right now, there's no reason to even put him on your injured list spot, even if you have a lot of them, because right now, he's going to be done, it looks like. And even if he comes back, he's going to have to get the rust off, in my opinion. And I don't know if San Diego's even going to rush him back. So the last few games before he went down, September 3rd versus Houston, 0-for-4. September 4th versus Houston, 1-for-4 with a run. September 5th versus Houston, 2-for-3 with a homer, RBI, 2 runs scored. September 7th versus the Angels, 2-for-4. September 8th versus the Angels, 2-for-4 with a run and an RBI. And then September 10th, where he broke the finger at the Dodgers, 0-for-1. So right here, he was having a great season, no doubt about it. But with the injury here, he's a guy that you easily should drop this week. So that's a few hitters I would look to drop here in week 23 of the fantasy baseball season.